Or do you want mine, Micah?
Okay.
Dodge.
Hold on. Yeah, we'll talk about it. All right. Okay. So first and foremost, let's talk about the type of problems that we have. Right? We've been talking about overtime. Right? That's the section we're in. We're in section 1.4. Overtime. Overtime wages. All right. Here's the idea today. We're going to do 2 to 3 examples, like I promised you, where they're going to be different style of problems. So, the first type of problem, they're going to tell you your total hours, and they want you to calculate what your overtime would pay would be over your total hours. They're not going to consider, I don't think they worry about double time. I think it's like time and a half. That's the only thing they're worried about. So we'll do one example of that. The second example we're going to do is we're going to look at a story problem. Now the story problem is not crazy in depth. It's basically just give you certain stipulation. So we'll look at one story problem. Now if we need to do another one, that's my third problem. It's either type you want to go over one more time. That'll be the third one if we need it. I don't know if we will. It's kind of up to you guys whether you guys are ready for this one now. Okay? All right, questions on what we're doing today?
No.
Okay, let's start with the total hours. Let's say your first problem says that you're working 47 hours this week. And your wages, your hourly rate are, let's say it's $8.95 per hour. Okay, this is all the information they give you. And the question is, the directions above this problem says, find the total wages for the week. So what the paycheck would be. They're not worried about taxes. We did that in the very first section. We talked about how to take taxes out and whatnot. Like a rough number for that. But this one is calculating what your total would be for, your overtime pay. They're not worried about Sundays or holidays on this particular problem. So, on this one, how many hours overtime are we working? 7, because the normal full work week is 40 hours, right? So we have 40 hours at normal rate. So our normal rate is $8.95 per hour. So that's going to be that number. The 7 hours is overtime. Now, on this particular problem, you have to go time and a half. They didn't say it was a holiday. They didn't say it was a Sunday. So the 7 hours overtime, we're going to have to go time and a half. So this $8.95, we're going to have to multiply by 1.5 since it's normal overtime. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to type it up in my calculator here. $8.95 times 1.5. I'm getting 13.43 per hour. That's your overtime pay per hour. Okay, again, why we do this 1.5, this is time and a half pay. Time and a half pay. So, okay, does everyone understand how I calculated that $13 an hour? The final total that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to multiply each number separately. So I'm going to take the 40 times the $8.95 to figure out that pay. That's $358 for normal 40-hour work week. And the second one, the $13.43, I'm multiplying that by the 7 hours. That's $94. Again, how I got that $94, that's taking your per hour rate times the hours you work. That's how I'm doing it. That's how I did this one over here as well. Multiply those. Your total, you add these two together. So 9401, I'm going to add the 358. My total paycheck for this particular week is $452.01. Questions at all about what you're going to have to do on those first couple problems? Do we feel comfortable with those? Now, if they said you're working 7 hours, on a Sunday, you have to do double pay. So instead of $13, you have to multiply the $8.95 times 2. Or if they said it was a holiday. But I think those first couple problems, they don't really even say anything. They just say you're working so many hours overtime. So you just calculate 1.5 for those extra hours you worked, past 40. All right, let's move on. The second problem, which is a story problem. This is one that they're going to tell you all of your numbers very explicitly in a long story problem. You'll just take each of the numbers and kind of go with it. So here we go. Okay, so John works 62 hours this week. So works 62 hours. 13 hours were on Sunday. Find his total wages if John makes $11.15 per hour. That's exactly the type of problem they're going to give you. They're giving you just enough clues that you can kind of piece everything together, and you have to kind of go from there. So on this particular problem, we already know how much he's working on Sunday. We have to figure out what his total overtime would have been for the rest of the week, and then we got to calculate each one. This problem, this particular problem has 3 categories. It has the normal wages, it has the overtime at time and a half, and it has double time pay because he works Sunday. The 13 hours is not added to the 62. It's a part of the 62. They're breaking it down so you can you're getting minimum information you need to break everything down. So he's working a total of 40-hour work week. We already know that. He is going to work a 40-hour work week. He's already working 62. 13 hours were on Sunday. So 13 hours were on Sunday. So now if you took 62 and you subtract 13, so 62 minus 13, that's a total of 49 hours. That means 40 hours is normal, 9 hours was just normal overtime.
So when they tell us to do overtime, you want time and a half?
Yeah, normal overtime is time and a half unless they say it's Sunday or a holiday.
Then it's double?
Then it's double. So yeah, so in this problem, how I did this was taking 62 minus the 13, figuring out John worked 49 hours that week other than on Sunday, and that meant 40 hours was normal, 9 hours was overtime, if that makes sense to you. The 13 was to help you figure out all those numbers. So now, the next thing I would calculate is what his pay would be. Obviously on the 40 hours, he's working $11.15 per hour. So here's my question. What's his pay on Sunday? $22.30. You're absolutely right. You doubled his pay, right? It was $11.15. Doubled it, $22.30. And overtime. How do we calculate that? His normal overtime rate.
16.73.
Okay, good. How do you do that? You are correct.
Multiply it by 1.5.
Good. Normal overtime is 1.5. Again, that's how we're getting each of these rates. And now what you're going to have to do is calculate each one separately. So, multiplying these out, multiplying these two numbers out, I'll get what his total pay is for that normal 40-hour work week. 40 times 11.15 is that $446 for his normal. His 13 hours on Sunday at $22.30. He's making $289.90. And then overtime, 9 times the 1673, $150.57. Again, how you're getting these. normal overtime times the rate, the double time pay times your Sundays or holidays, and then your 40-hour work week. So if I add these all up,
He's 40 does in 2 days.
I was making $800 that week. Total pay he's getting with all three of those is $886.47. Here's what I want to see on these problems. I want to see the work that you just saw there on the board. I want to see that you're giving me each category, you're going to have each one total, and then you're adding them up to get your total pay for that week. Okay, now here's my question to you. Is there a certain problem you'd like me to go over one more time? A story problem, or one of the normal ones where they just give you hours? We good? Okay, homework's on the board. Homework is due on Friday. It's page 10 and 11. So it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you're doing the right problems. 1 through 4 exercise A, 1 through 4 number 8 on page 11. Those are the story problems. I tried to just pick a couple of each. You got 9 problems total. Okay, if you need calculators, I got the calculators in the back. I even have one up here if you need it. Anyone else need it? No. All right, the rest of the time is yours. You have about 20 minutes, 21 minutes, you can kind of work.